Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The ISUPK, under Commanding General Yahana, presents the Lord's 57th Annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 57th Annual Passover, April 4th, 2026, in Houston, Texas. All Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are commanded to observe the Lord's Passover. This will be the biggest Passover to date. You do not want to miss this. Fresh lamb, fresh wine, and bitter herbs as commanded by the Most High. Only $200 per person ages 17 and up. The biggest event of the year. There is only one Passover, and it's under Commanding General Yahana. See you there, Israel. Shalom.
Shalom. This is to all Israelite groups and all Israelite communities and all breakoffs from One West and breakoffs from breakoffs from breakoffs no matter what rainbow uniform you wear, red, white, purple and white, all white, it don't matter. You should all treat the ISUPK like your weird, misunderstood Sabbaths. You shouldn't do anything until you counsel with the ISUPK. We'll tell you when and what to eat. We'll tell you who to marry. We'll tell you who to have sex with and how. We'll tell you how to resolve conflicts with your wives. We'll tell you how to resolve conflicts with your kids, your brothers, your sisters, your parents, your friends, everybody. We'll tell you when and how to pray. We'll tell you how to direct your life in a way that's pleasing to the Most High God of Israel and our Black King Yahushua, a.k.a. Jesus Christ. We will be to you instead of a God. Just like the Most High told Moses in Exodus 4:16 that Aaron would be to him instead of a mouth and he would be to Aaron instead of a God, that's what we'll do for you. It is what you all need because none of you know what the fuck you are doing. I pray you understand. Shalom.
All right, let's clap it up. Hey, Shalom Israel, Shalom Yahweh Bashim Yahushua Barakatham to all the brothers. Shalom Yahweh Shemar Latham Bashim Yahushua to all the sisters. The Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yahana. This is the first night of the feast of Purim. We're gonna get into the story, but this story right here is, it's so much to take away from the story. And this story right here shows you that everything that your oppressor thinks about Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, especially our women, especially our sisters, this story right here shows that everything that they think about you is absolutely wrong. You know what I mean? That's why they had to take away. That's why they had to take away your records, your history, your culture. That's why they tried to, turn the Bible into a fairy tale book. Because if you read stories like this, and you can read it knowing that Esther is your great grandmother. Like they didn't by them. One of the greatest crimes that your oppressor has committed, involving the Bible is, making Christ a white man.
Right.
You know what I mean? But in doing that, he didn't turn. If you think Christ is a white man, then that means that whenever you read about King Solomon, King David, when you read about Esther, when you read about Judith, and you read about Deborah, when you read about all the brothers and sisters, Ruth, you read about all the brothers and sisters in the Bible, because they put Christ as a white man in your mind, you're going to read these stories and you're going to you're going to put a white face over them. You know what I mean? But the truth about it is everybody in this Bible, that especially all the brothers and sisters that got a book named after him, is Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American. This whole Bible is Black history.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's such an evil thing that they took the history of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans and put a white face on it. I mean, or tried to make it a fairy tale. We read these stories, and it's crazy. I'm calling it a story, but we'll read these, these scriptures, and we'll read our history, and we'll just take it as if it's just a story, like Aesop's fables or something like that, or like what's them kid stories, um, like a Dr. Seuss book or something, like we'll read it like, okay, it's a cool story, but it ain't real. But this is real. This is Black history, and this is how our brothers and sisters moved all throughout history. You know what I mean? As a matter of, let's get before we get into it, let's get Ecclesiastes 7 and start at 26.
Colonel Wakan, sir. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7 and verse 26. And I find more bitter than death the woman.
And as a matter of fact, before you read that, let's open another tab and get John 8 and 44.
Colonel Wakan.
Because what you got to realize is all the terrible things, all the negative things that your oppressor has convinced us to believe about ourselves, it came from him. Like, he's the devil. He's the mass unaliver. He's the sexual deviant. He's the, he eats, unclean animals, right, pigs and bats, and that's him. But he had to do something so terrible and diabolical to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to make us put on their spirit. Because, like, we're going to read in the book of Esther how they wanted to put a certain spirit, on us. They wanted us to do certain things, and we refused, even when it could have cost us our lives. That's how we get down. But they did so much, if you ever read the letters of Willie Lynch, it's literally the first page literally say how to make a slave. And the process of what they had to do to us to make us into what you see today, like what they call them westernized. They say we westernized. Every other, every other country look at particularly Black Americans as if they the scum of the earth. You know what I mean? That all of that came from our oppressor, and that was carefully orchestrated. You know what I mean? Where they had to destroy the man in front of the woman, and vice versa, destroy the woman in front of the man. They had to rip our children away from us. They had to spend 400 years of just merciless, just merciless, just violence on Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to get us to be, to behave how we behave, or how we're portrayed, on TV and in movies. You know what I mean? Slack, you might read in John 8 and 44 real quick.
Colonel Wakan, sir. This is the book of John, chapter 8 and verse 44. Ye are of your father, the devil.
See, this is Christ knew he was chastising the Pharisees and the Sadducees, and he was chastising, the people, right? But he knew while he was talking to them that spirit, that's not our spirit. Right. You know what I mean? Us doing all the things that we do, celebrating Christmas, being evil to one another, hating one another, the way we deal with our children, the way we deal with our parents and our brothers and our sisters, that didn't come from us. That came from who?
Ye are of your father, the devil, and the lust of your father you will do.
See, all of that came from once our oppressor put his spirit on us, once our oppressor did all the diabolical things, that he did to make us into slaves. Just the transatlantic slave trade alone, like I think 1.8 million Blacks and Hispanics died on the way. You know what I mean? So just that gruesome journey alone, that's before you even get to the Trail of Tears. That's before you even get to the Alamo. That's before you get to the all the other Jim Crow, civil rights. That's before you even get to all of that. They lost 1.8 billion of us, just getting us over here. And that's how you make a slave. You know what I mean? That's how you get to, what you see on what's them TV shows called? The reality TV shows. What y'all be watching, sisters? I know y'all. Yeah, Zeus, good night. You know what I mean? But what they portray on TV, that came from our oppressor. We reading it right now.
Colonel Wakan, sir. He was a murderer from the beginning.
He was a murderer from the beginning. See, we wasn't murderers from the beginning. We was the Lord's chosen people. And he gave us laws, statutes, and commandments to keep, to make us be set apart and put above all these other nations. But your oppressor, you know what I mean, and all these other nations, you know what I mean, your oppressor is the most subtle, he's the chief beast of the field. But all these other nations, you know what I mean, they lawless. They don't have laws. Like it says in what was it, Psalms 149? You know what I mean, or 147, 19 and 20. You know what I mean? He shows word to Jacob and his statutes to Israel. He has not dealt with any other nation. So these other nations, they lawless. They don't have the guidance and the wisdom that the Most High gave to us as a people. So that's why, read that again. He was a what?
He was a murderer from the beginning.
That's why he's a murderer from the beginning. Go ahead.
And abode not in the truth.
And abode not in the truth. See, he's not the Lord's chosen people. We are. So it just goes to show that everything that you, whatever you want to say about our beautiful black sisters, man, all of that came from your oppressor, man. And if we could just get our oppressor out of our culture, out of our minds, and out of our day-to-day habits, then you know what I mean, we gonna have one hell of a nation. And you seeing it right now. Go ahead to Ecclesiastes 7.
Colonel Wakan, sir.
We seeing it right now. Like, you know what I mean? You got schools all over the earth. You know what I mean? In and outside of the country. I mean, we got, what is it, 5? I think we got 5 schools in Texas alone. And it's full of righteous brothers and sisters and all the way down to the children. You know what I mean? We building this nation, and this is what the Most High made us to be. This is who the Most High raised us to be. You know what I mean? You go ahead and read that.
Colonel Wakan, sir. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7 and verse 26. And I find more bitter than death the woman, whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands as bands. Whoso pleaseth God shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her.
See, this is when you read this, right, because of the number that our oppressor has done on us and how terrible we're portrayed in the world, our brothers and sisters will read this. Our brothers and sisters will read this and, you know, internalize it in a destructive way. Like, I don't know if y'all heard this before, but, you know, a lot of people would say that the Bible is misogynistic, or like the Most High hates women. I mean, the Most High loves women, and the brothers in the ISUPK, we love women. You know what I mean? But a lot of times, brothers and sisters read this, especially sisters, you'll read this and be like, "Hey, I guess women ain't, you know, this is really how terrible a woman is." But go ahead, read on.
Colonel Wakan, sir. Verse 27. Behold, this have I found, said the preacher, counting one by one to find the account.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Colonel Wakan.
So King Solomon, he was, you know what I mean? He was the most wealthiest. He was the wealthiest, you know what I mean, king in Israel. You know what I mean? King David, he built he put together and unified the kingdom, and then King Solomon, he just ruled over it. All the work that King David did to unify the kingdom, King Solomon just ruled over it. So he just had, you know, he ain't have to go to war. He didn't have to, you know what I mean, he didn't have to go to work a 9 to 5 and work a slavery. He just ruled over the you know what I mean, what King David put together. You know what I mean? So he just had time to be able to just build wisdom, to read, to study, you know what I mean, to just to find out things. Like he was a man that always just wanted to know things. He wanted to understand things. Right. You know what I mean? And he just had the time to just build wisdom. And in his, you know what I mean, in his studies, this is what he was on. Go ahead, read on.
Colonel Wakan, sir, verse 28. Which yet my soul seeketh, but I find not. One man among 1,000 have I found.
So this is how many out of 1,000 men, there's one righteous brother. This is what he found in his research. Go ahead.
But a woman among all those have I not found.
Okay, so out of 1,000 brothers, you found one righteous brother. But out of 1,000 women, he found none. What does that what does that tell you? Y'all want to give it a shot? Out of what we read it again, Bob Kashaw?
Colonel Wakan, sir. It's like it. But I find not one man among 1,000 have I found.
Right.
But a woman among all those have I not found.
So what does that tell you? Y'all want to give it a shot? Out of 1,000 sisters, we ain't finding none. Out of 1,000 brothers, you find only one. What does that tell you? You want to? I saw you. No. Make me start calling on y'all, man. I know y'all. Come on, sisters. Okay, I give you this. I give you this. Brothers and sisters, remember when we first started, brothers and sisters will read this and just assume that, you know, the Lord or the Bible is misogynistic. The Lord hate women. You know what I mean? And you know what we say all the time: niggas ain't shit. You know what I mean? But that's not what this is. That's not what this is supposed to. That's not what you're supposed to get from this. Y'all want to give it a shot before I give it to you? This is what you should take away from this. All these brothers and these sisters in this room, y'all are. That shows how rare y'all are. This scripture right here, this should show you how special each and every one of y'all brothers and sisters in this room is. Because out of a Most High Christ, out of 1,000, you ain't find King Solomon ain't find none out of 1,000. Yet here y'all are. Yet here y'all are serving the Lord. Y'all don't celebrate Christmas. Y'all don't eat pork. Y'all aren't monsters to y'all husbands, to y'all brothers, to y'all sisters, to y'all children. You know what I mean? So then when y'all go out in that world, you know what I mean? The world is going to see you. The world is going to see how honorable you are, how well spoken, how intelligent you are, how beautiful you are. The world is going to see you and how set apart you are and wonder, who are you? Where did you come from? And then through you being yourself, you being that, you know, for the brothers, we ain't that special. We ain't as special as y'all. We just read it. You know what I mean? We ain't as special as y'all. Out of 1,000, we found one. So I mean, we special, but out of 1,000, you find none. That mean we one of 1,000. Y'all sisters that's in here in this room is one in a million. And it's stories like this that prove it. This is our spirit. Now we can go into the Esther now. So that's what this whole story is all about. You know what I mean? It's about a one in a million sister who was able to save an entire nation of people. And she didn't do it with, being an independent, strong, independent black woman. You know what I mean? Because that's another monster that, your oppressor tries to create through social media, through TV, and all of that. You know what I mean? You see in these podcasts, I don't know if y'all see these podcasts, Fresh and Fit. I don't know if y'all familiar with Fresh and Fit. What's bro name that did a debate with Captain Tazariak? Good night. He was a child. Yeah, Cooley. That hypocrite. Good night. This brother, he spent his entire career trying to destroy black women. And I don't understand. I mean, maybe y'all can help me out, but I don't understand these podcasts where they'll build an entire platform, invite a whole panel of sisters to sit on this platform just to tear them down. I don't understand them, man. Like, I don't get it. That don't make sense to me. Like, good night. But that's what we see on social media and on TV and on, you know what I mean, on these podcasts where you got men hating women and you got the women hating them right back. You know what I mean? But and that creates a narrative that our women are monsters, our women are whores, our brothers are whoremongers, our brothers hate women. You know what I mean? And it creates a narrative that puts us against each other and destroys our family. But Esther, she didn't do it like that. She didn't save this nation of people, which is blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the 12 lost tribes of Israel. She didn't save them by with her loud mouth. She didn't save them by, you know what I mean, how much she made on her OnlyFans. She didn't save them by rebelling against her uncle, you know what I mean, her family, you know what I mean, who was her who raised her. She did it with absolute femininity and obedience and kindness and wisdom. And that's the type of sisters we raising up in. Them, that's the 1 in a million sisters that you see that we see up in here sitting there. You go ahead and start at verse 1. 1 and 1.
Colonel Wakansa, this is the book of Esther, chapter 1 and verse 1. Now it came to pass in the days of Ahasuerus, it's like let me share it on the screen. This is Ahasuerus which reigned from India even unto Ethiopia over 107 and 20 provinces. That in those days when the king Ahasuerus sat on the throne of his kingdom, which was in Shushan the palace.
So I believe this is the during the Persian and the Medo-Persian Empire, and this king Ahasuerus, he had conquered. You can look at him as like he was a world leader, like how you look at Putin, how you look at Donald Trump, how you look at you know what I mean, the Queen of England, you know what I mean, the world leaders that you see today. This is this cat right here that we're reading about. And he had conquered so much land over a certain period of time, that he was just that dude. You know what I mean? Go ahead, read on.
Colonel Wakansa, verse 3.
And of course, this is a heathen. You know what I mean? But this is just how the story starts. Go ahead.
Colonel Wakan, verse 3. In the 3rd year of his reign, he made a feast unto all his princes and his servants.
Mm-hmm.
The power of Persia and Media, the nobles and princes of the provinces being before him.
Okay, so yeah, so this is the during the Persian and Median Empire, and he conquered so much land. He was doing so well, you know what I mean, building up his nation. You know what I mean. He decided to throw a feast in celebration of his, you know, his rule and his reign. Go ahead.
Colonel Wakan, verse 4. When he showed the riches of his glorious kingdom and the honor of his excellent majesty many days, even 180 days.
Go ahead.
Verse 5. And when these days were expired, the king made a feast unto all the people that were present in Shushan the palace.
So if I'm not mistaken, what we just read, he was partying for 180 or 180 days. That's half a year. He was just, hey, we lit for 180 straight days, just partying. You know what I mean? And then when those days expired, he threw another party for the people. You know what I mean? Just what was it for 7 days? Right? Go ahead.
7 days in the court of the garden of the king's palace.
Now imagine that. You know what I mean? We imagine having this. Just lets you know how powerful. And this is important. I want y'all to pay attention to this. This is how powerful this brother is, or not brother. Good night, this ruler was. This heathen was, and he was so powerful that he was able to party for 180 days straight, and it didn't even scratch his pockets. It didn't even scratch his kingdom or put a dent in his bank account. You know what I mean? But remember that for what we about to read later. Go ahead.
Colonel Wakan, verse 6. Where were white, green, and blue hangings fastened with cords of fine linen and purple to silver rings and pillars of marble.
Drop down to verse 9. So he is pretty much just describing, like, you know, how glorious this feast was and how glorious this celebration was. Now remember, it's the most powerful dude. You know what I mean? The ruler over his nation. You know what I mean? He had conquered all this land and had all this power. He was the most powerful dude in the Medo-Persian Empire. Go ahead, read verse 9.
Colonel Wakan, verse 9. Also, Vashti the queen made a feast for the women.
So Vashti the queen. So this dude, Buddy, is partying for 180 days, and then he throw a whole separate feast for the people, 7 days, and also Vashti the queen made a feast for the women. Go ahead.
In the royal house, which belonged to King Ahasuerus.
Which belonged to who?
To King Ahasuerus.
So she in his other house, in one of his houses. I just want y'all to picture how powerful this dude is and how loaded his pockets is right now. And she throwing a party in his house. Go ahead. This the queen. Go ahead.
Verse 10. On the 7th day, when the heart of the king was merry with wine, he commanded Mahuman, Bitsa, Harbona, Bigtha, and Abagtha, Zathar, and Carcass, the 7 chamberlains that served in the presence of Ahasuerus the king.
So these are the 7 men that are, that are the closest to the king. You know what I mean? And when, while you partying, just like any man, you know what I mean? You having a good time, you know what I mean? You celebrating. I don't know about y'all brothers, but when I'm having a good time, I'm celebrating something. I want to be around some women. You know what I mean? I want to be around my woman. You know what I mean? If I'm celebrating. So he called his wife. He called a queen, you know what I mean, to come, party with him. You know what I mean? They all having a good time. He like, I want to be around my woman. So he sent his, the 7 people that's closest to him to go and get his woman. Now, if you just put it in this perspective, if a man sinned, like, think about Commander General Yohana, right? If Commander General Yohana send all 6 of the generals under him to go get you and to call you to him, that's something serious. Like, that ain't no light thing. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much what's going on here. He sent this 7 right-hand men to like, hey, go get my wife. Tell my wife to come, kick it with me. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Colonel Wakan, sir. To bring Vashti the queen before the king with the crown royal. To show the people and the princess her beauty, for she was fair to look on.
And she was one of what they call them. She was bad.
Right.
You know what I mean, this woman, you know what I mean? And all of these details is very important to what we about to read next. So this dude is extremely rich, extremely wealthy, extremely powerful, and he got a beautiful woman. Go ahead.
Verse 12. But the queen Vashti refused to come at the king's commandment.
She did what?
She refused to come at the king's commandment by his chamberlains.
See, this is the problem, right? See, right now, what was they saying about 6 months ago? We was talking about a high value man. What's bro name? Kevin Samuels. He was talking about what a high value man is. He was talking about, the sisters are talking about she won't date a woman, or she won't date a man that don't make 6 figures or is not 6 feet, or you got to be driving this car, and you can't take me to no Cheesecake Factory. You know what I mean? You got to have you this another one too. You know what I mean? The sisters on social media, you know what I mean? They'll be like, yeah, I'll submit to the right man. No, you won't. No, you won't. That's if you know what I mean, if we following after our oppressor in the ways that he's trained us, in the ways that he's beat into Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know what I mean, this right here should let you know that money is not what's gonna keep a woman. Money, and if you're a sister, you looking for a husband, money isn't the thing that you look for to find you a husband. Because at the end of the day, you know what I mean, that money ain't gonna make you, you know what I mean, that money ain't gonna make you, yield to this man. That money ain't gonna make you respect that man. It's gonna be fun, I guess. I mean, you're gonna be able to go on trips and, you know what I mean, buy all these, these Birkin bags and these clothes and jewelry and all of that. You're gonna be able to get on yachts and all of that, but that's not what's gonna make you yield to this man and respect this man. And that's what you're seeing right here. And this also lets you know that spirit that they try to associate with black women, that spirit of just rebellion and you know, the this spirit, that lets you know that that ain't the spirit that belongs to black women. That belongs to your oppressor. And we seeing it right now. This is a heathen woman and a heathen man. And you seeing how this heathen woman is treating this heathen man that's the most wealthiest man in the nation, the most wealthiest, the most powerful man in the nation. That spirit, that spirit of disobedience and rebellion, that comes from your oppressors. Go ahead.
Colonel Wakan, sir. But the queen Vashti refused to come at the king's commandment by his chamberlains.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore was the king very wroth, and his anger burned in him.
Yeah, so this made this man mad. You know what I mean? And Slacky, go ahead and read the next verse.
Colonel Wakan, sir. Let's get him in trouble. Verse 13. Then the king said to the wise men, which knew the times, for so the king's manner toward all that knew law and judgment. Verse 14. And the next unto him was Karshina, Shathar, Admatha, Tarshish, Meres, verse 15. What shall we do unto the queen Vashti according to the law? Because she had not performed the commandment of the king Ahasuerus by the chamberlains.
So this right here, what Ahasuerus understood is, let's go ahead and read on. It'll break it down.
Verse 16. And Memucan answered before the king and the princes, Vashti the queen had not done wrong to the king only, but also to all the princes.
To who?
To all the princes, and to all the people that are in the provinces of the king Ahasuerus.
So the thing that, this is what you got to understand as you know what I mean, for our sisters, right? And our brothers, but the thing that you do and how you carry yourself and how you present yourself, it's not just going, that reputation ain't just going to fall on you. It's not just going to like shame your husband or your father or your brothers, but read that again.
Colonel Wakan, sir. Salakia. Vashti the queen have not done wrong to the king only, but also to all the princes and to all the people that are in all the provinces of the king of Ahasuerus.
See, this is what happens when you belong to a family, and we've because we've been and because we've been, you know, we've been under this oppressor, you know what I mean, and had to live under him for all these years, you know, 400-500 years. We've forgotten what it's like to be a family. Like that was the whole point. If you read the letters of Willie Lynch, the whole point, how you make a slave is by tearing down the family. That's how you do it. So for 400 years, we haven't been able to have our families. You know what I mean? We had to get married in secret. That's where jumping the broom come from, where we wasn't allowed to, you know what I mean, have families in captivity. And then when they, you know what I mean, they bred us like dogs and cattle, where they would have the strongest man sleep with the, you know, most fertile woman to create slaves. And then once they created those babies through forcing us to sleep with, you know what I mean, with these different brothers and sisters, they would sell the children off. You know what I mean? They would sell them off. And sometimes they would just do it for the hell of it. Like they would see that we have a strong family. Like it'll be a family that's in captivity to get together. It'll be a husband, a wife, and you know, we was back in the day, we was having 12, 13, 14, 15 kids. I know some of y'all come from large families where y'all got you know what I mean, your great grandma, your grandmother, you got 12 brothers and sisters, and you got a whole slew of cousins. You know what I mean? They would see a family like that. And just be like, just because you look good as a family, just because you look strong as a family, I'm going to sell your father over here. I'm going to sell your mother over here to this plantation. and I'm gonna sell your children off to all these different plantations. That would just break us up just for the hell of it, just to be devils. You know what I mean? So through all of that, through that you know what I mean, that you know what I mean, through that process, we've lost what it's like and how important it is to be a family and what it costs to be a family. Because read that again, Baba Kashan.
Colonel Wakan, sir. Vashti the queen hath not done wrong to the king only, but to all the princes and to all the people that are in the provinces of the king Ahasuerus.
See, when you're a family, like when we in the ISUPK, we're a family. We building a family again. If you Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you are our family in here. You got you a Hebrew name, or you in these four walls, you are our family. You're not just some sister from round the way. You're not just some brother from round the way. That, you know what I mean? You are under the protection and the guidance of Commanding General Yohana. You know what I mean? And you're in this family. So whatever you do, you know what I mean, before you came up in here, you could have been out, doing drugs and smoking cigarettes and celebrating Christmas, and nobody would have even batted an eye, because that's just the norm of the world. But when you come up in here, you wear that shield of David around your neck, when you got that hair wrap on, you put on that dress, you know what I mean? You wear them fringes, brothers, you know what I mean? You put that crown on your head and you go out there in the world, you know what I mean? Everything that you do is going to reflect on Commanding General Yohana. That's how it is with family. And that's what you're seeing right here. The thing that Vashti did, she didn't just dishonor Ahasuerus. That wasn't just an isolated incident where she just dishonored Ahasuerus, but the entire nation is going to see this, and what you think that's going to do for the this powerful dude that just, who owned all this land and got all this bread. You know what I mean? He just had a 180-day feast day plus a 7-day feast day for the people, or you know what I mean, a party for the people. And his wife dishonored him. So what you think that's going to do for the brother that's shoveling the cow feces out the land, who's feeding the chickens? What you think that's going to do for him and his family? That woman going to think that, oh, Vashti disrespected Ahasuerus. I ain't got to listen to this dude. He just the chicken. He just look over the chickens. You know what I mean? He just feed the horses. I ain't got to listen to this dude. And that's how crucial it is for us to, you know what I mean, carry ourselves in an honorable way. You know what I mean? Up in here in the school. And anybody else, you know what I mean? Anybody see anything that you do outside of these walls, is going to reflect on us as a family. You know what I mean? And that's the first thing that your oppressor gonna say. You know what I mean? When we hold your oppressor accountable for all the atrocities that they've committed against Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, what's the first thing that they say? Y'all want to give it a shot? Let's see if this is one of the. Y'all heard the question? You heard the question? Okay, no sweat. When we hold our oppressor accountable for all the atrocities that they've done to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, what's the first thing that your oppressor gonna want to say? And if whoever want to answer the question, you just grab the mic. What you got, sis? Y'all pass her the mic, Baba Kasha?
Are you talking about like from the past?
Kind of like when we hold them accountable, when we say, hey, y'all done robbed us, y'all done stole the land, y'all mass unalivers and all of that. What's the first response that your oppressor gives?
Like, those are my ancestors, I didn't do that, or something like that.
Well, that's one of the things they do. You right. That is one of the things they do say. Yad, you want to give it a shot?
Slakia, they'll be like,
What's they get out of jail free card?
I would just say what the sister said, that I'm not my ancestors, or they'll say, I'm trying to think it. I just had it, Slakia.
Oh, please, yeah.
They're gonna say, well, black people unalive themselves all the time. Y'all kill each other all the time.
Give them a hand. That's they get out of jail free card. When we try to hold them accountable and talk about all the crime and how they are the worst thing to ever happen to the planet Earth. You know what I mean? They are destroyers of culture. They teach you in schools and history books, you know what I mean? And even in their holidays, they try to portray themselves to be the greatest. What Trump say, make America great again. They try to portray themselves as if they're just the greatest thing on this earth, the greatest people on this earth. You know what I mean? But they are actually destroyers of culture. They are every atrocity that you could think of that's happened in the planet Earth, you can blame your oppressor. A white person is behind every destruction that's ever happened on the planet Earth. You know what I mean? But when we try to hold them accountable, they say, oh, well, y'all kill each other all the time. What about Chirac? What about Atlanta? What about, they start naming all the, you know what I mean, all those incidents, you know what I mean? Well, black people kill more black people than white people. You know, they say all these statistics and try to what's their favorite statistic? You 13% of the population, but you commit 80% of the crimes. That, you know what I mean? That they try to flip it on you. Go ahead, please.
So like if I could, because and thanks to Commanding General Hunter, I've been on white people ass a minute, so and they will say that, but that's not the correct thing. How are we committing 80% of the crimes? It's more than 50% that we're exonerated. We get locked up for nothing. That's the percentage that we're higher at. We're not committing the most crime because we don't even have the resources to do it at the same rate that the white man does it. So
Now, what you said was absolute. Give him a hand. And that's the part that they try to overlook. So your oppressor never want to be held accountable for what he's committed against blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. But he'll easily and very quickly, you know what I mean, try to put the spotlight back on you. You know what I mean? And without even acknowledging the transatlantic slave trade, Jim Crow, Willie Lynch letters, without, acknowledging the civil rights movement and, police brutality that you see today. You know what I mean? The 700 cities that they've bombed and destroyed and flooded and burned down to the ground, they won't acknowledge those, but they'll hold you accountable. You know what I mean? But that's what it's like to, you know what I mean? That's what it's like to be a family. You know what I mean? You got to understand that the spotlight is always going to be on you, good or bad. And because your oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of, he's going to overlook the good that you do. And he's going to try to find anything to try to make it seem like you deserve to be a slave. That's what your oppressor is going to do. You know what I mean? But Slacky, go ahead, read on.
Colonel Wakan, sir, verse 17. For this deed of the queen shall come abroad unto all women.
No, it was just Vashti, right? Go ahead.
For this deed of the queen shall come abroad unto all women.
See, what you got to understand is the example that Vashti set, it would come upon all women, because this is the most powerful dude in the nation, and she treated him, or she dealt with him like he was just nothing. So, you know what I mean, the common man, you know what I mean, that's going to, you know what I mean, the fisherman and the carpenter and the blacksmith and the butcher and all of that, you know what I mean, they nothing compared to this man who just threw a 180-day party and owned, you know what I mean, who's a world leader. And that's also what you got to understand too. Like, money is not gonna make you be respected. Right. You know what I mean? Not like how your oppressor teach you. You know what I mean? You might get a little bit more attention. You might get some, some fake love. You know what I mean? Because brothers or whoever want a piece of whatever you got, but it's not gonna give you the honor and respect that's due. You know what I mean? If you more so focus on your character. You know what I mean? This is a prime example. I can't think of a better example. You know what I mean? Go ahead, Slacky.
Colonel Wakan, sir. For this deed of the queen shall come abroad unto all women, so that they shall despise their husbands in their eyes, when it shall be reported, the king Ahasuerus commanded Vashti the queen to be brought in before him, but she came not. Verse 18. Likewise shall the ladies of Persia and Media say this day unto all the king's princes, which have heard of the deed of the queen. Thus shall there arise too much contempt and wrath. Verse 19. If it please the king, let there go a royal commandment from him, and let it be written among the laws of the Persians and the Medes, that it be not altered, that Vashti come no more before the king Ahasuerus, and let the king give her royal estate unto another that is better than she.
And this is what had to happen. You wanted to say something, Priest? But this is what had to happen. You know what I mean? Because this sister did something that was so dishonorable in front of the entire nation, she was removed. You know, this heathen Ahasuerus removed Vashti. She like, look, well, you don't want to come here. You don't want to, you know what I mean? You don't want to come and, you know what I mean, be with me. You don't want to follow my instructions. All right, you ain't got to come back no more. You're not gonna come back no more. And is another example, King David. You know what I mean? Where one of his wives, you know what I mean, was tripping on him, and you know he ain't divorce her. He ain't do nothing unlawful, but he did. He never gave her. He never dealt with her again. He never gave her no kids. He was like, all right, no sweat. Are you think I'm bad now? I'm about to be exactly who you think I am. You know what I mean? I'm about to be base in my sight. You know what I mean? He got him some more women. And never, you know what I mean? She was never spoken of in the Bible again after that. You know what I mean? But that's just how important that's how important our reputation is. That's how important it is for us to carry ourselves a certain way. And when we don't carry ourselves a certain way, then you know what I mean, you're gonna be removed. You know what I mean? That's just what that is. It's like it. Go ahead.
Colonel Wakan, sir. Verse 20. And when the king's decree, and when the king's decree which he shall make shall be published throughout all his empire, for it is great, all the wives shall give to their husbands honor, both to great and small. And the saying pleased the king and the princes, and the king did according to the word of Memucan. Verse 22. For he sent letters into all the king's provinces, and to every province according to the writing thereof, and to every people after their language, that every man should bear rule in his own house, and that it should be published according to the language of every people.
Verse chapter 2.
Colonel McCon, sir. This is Esther chapter 2 and verse 1. After these things, when the wrath of King Ahasuerus was appeased, he remembered Vashti and what she had done and what was decreed against her. Then said the king's servants that ministered unto him, let there be fair young virgins sought for the king.
So after Vashti got removed from her position, the king's servants went and found more women to replace him. You know what I mean? And that's what all for the sake of the reputation. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Colonel Wakan, sir. Verse 3. And let the king appoint officers in all the provinces of his kingdom, that they may gather together all the fair young virgins unto Shushan the palace, to the house of the women unto the custody of Hej the king's chamberlain, keeper of the women, and let their things for purification be given them. Verse 4. And let the maiden which pleaseth the king be queen instead of Vashti.
Ooh, say that again.
And let the maiden which pleaseth the king be queen instead of Vashti.
So she's no longer going to be the queen. And this should let you know something too. Like a lot of, especially nowadays, because of social media, a lot of brothers and sisters put a lot of stock in physical attributes. You know what I mean? What a sister wear, how a sister shaped. You know what I mean? Sisters as well. Hey, sisters as well. You know what I mean? They put a lot of stock in how much money a brother make. You know what I mean? How tall he is, what kind of car he drive. But this right here lets you know. Remember, Vashti was, you know what I mean? What we read in the first chapter, Vashti was a very beautiful woman. You know what I mean? But that's not where your value is at. Right. You know what I mean? Because beauty is, you know what I mean, beauty could be replaced. Right. You know, this the king's servants, he found young virgins. A virgin is just a woman of marriageable age. A young woman of marriageable age. So this sister, you know what I mean? Or not sister, I keep saying sister, Salakia. But Vashti, you know what I mean? She was a beautiful woman. That's cool. You know what I mean? I'm sure, you know what I mean? I'm sure all brothers want a beautiful woman with a shape and all of that. But that's not where your value is at. You know what I mean? That can be replaced. But what makes you valuable, what makes you rare, what makes you that one in a million, like we read in Ecclesiastes, the 7th chapter, what makes you that, sister, is your spirit, your character. That's what makes you that one in a million. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Colonel Wakan, sir. Verse 5. Now in Shushan the palace there was a certain Jew whose name was Mordecai, the son of Jair, the son of Shammai, the son of Kish, a Benjamite.
So this is a Benjamite, right? Go ahead.
Verse 6. Who had been carried away from Jerusalem with the captivity which had been carried away with Jeconiah the king of Judah, whom Nebuchadnezzar the king of Babylon had carried away. Verse 7. And he brought up Hadassah, that is Esther, his uncle's daughter, for she had neither father nor mother, and the maid was fair and beautiful, whom Mordecai, when her father and mother were dead, took for his own daughter.
So this is Mordecai, right? This is this make him his, was it uncle or? So this will be Esther's uncle that raised her as a father would. You know what I mean? And Mordecai, he was he was like the doorman, you know what I mean? But he had a lot of, you know what I mean, he had a lot of pull because of his position in the kingdom. You know what I mean? So he saw a lot and he knew a lot. He heard a lot. You know what I mean? Anything that went in and out, you know what I mean, it came to him first. So he knew, he had a lot of insight on the affairs of the kingdom and of the nation. You know what I mean? But he had a lot of insight on the affairs of the nation. So he heard what was going on, and he heard that the queen was about to be replaced. So go ahead, read on. Let's see what he do.
Colonel Wakan, sir. For she had neither father, selected. For she had neither father nor mother. Oh, selected. Verse 8. A second. So it came to pass when the king's commandment and his decree was heard, and when many maidens were gathered together unto Shushan the palace to the custody of Haggai, that Esther was brought also to the king's house, to the custody of Haggai, keeper of the women.
So Esther was one of the women that was brought to the king to potentially replace the queen. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Verse 9. And the maiden pleased him, and she obtained kindness of him, and he speedily gave her the things for purification, with such things as belonged to her, and 7 maidens which were meet to be given her out of the king's house, and he preferred her and her maids unto the best place of the house of women. Verse 10.
So Esther, when she was brought in, she was preferred over all the other women. You know what I mean? Now, why you think she was preferred? And we gonna see later down the line. But why do you think Esther was preferred over every other woman? You wanna give it a shot? Go ahead. You pass her the mic. Huh? Get the mic. It's behind you.
Her upbringing from her uncle.
What about it? What about her upbringing?
he taught her the law. He taught her about her nature and about her people.
Let me get Deuteronomy chapter 4 and 4 and 6 and give her a hand. Because she absolutely right. I mean, she had an amazing. Not only, you know what I mean, not only was Esther beautiful, but she had character. And this is, like you said, the character that comes with Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that makes Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans better than any other people on this earth is what we learned, what we was given in the law. That built our character. Go ahead, read that, Baba Shah.
Colonel Wakan, this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4 and verse 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations.
Is your wisdom? Is your what?
This is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations.
See, what we don't understand, this is something that your oppressor understands about your culture. See, your culture makes you better than them. What the Most High gave you makes you better than them. So before they could even make you a slave, they had to strip your culture. They had to turn Christ into a white man and the prophets. You know what I mean? They had to say Christ is God. So that now when you pray at night, you know what I mean, or when you in distress and you pray to the Most High, you think of a white man as your savior. You think of a white man that's died for you and, gave his life for you and made a sacrifice for you. You know what I mean? That's what your oppressor knows about you and your culture. Because read that again.
For this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations.
See, this ain't had nothing to do with no money. He didn't say money is your wisdom and understanding in the sight of the nations. He didn't say BBLs is your wisdom and understanding in the sight of the nations. He didn't say, you know what I mean, driving a Ferrari, you know what I mean, a Rolls, you know what I mean, a Rolls Royce. He ain't say chains and, you know what I mean, jewelry and watches is your wisdom and understanding. He ain't say 6 foot, you know what I mean, and 6 figures is your wisdom and understanding in the sight of the nation. He said, keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments is your wisdom and understanding in the sight of the nations. Go ahead.
Which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
See, they gonna hear all your laws, statutes, and commandments. See, China and Wuhan, China, they eating bats and pangolin. You know what I mean? In America, pig and they having if you go to HEB, they having the crab boils right now. They boiling crawfish right outside. You know what I mean? That's a delicacy in America, but in your law, you don't eat those things. You don't eat pig. You don't eat the roaches of the sea. You know what I mean? Crawfish and shrimp and crab and lobster, and you don't eat all of those, and octopus, and you know what I mean? If Wuhan, China had the wisdom and understanding that the Most High gave Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, then there would have been no COVID-19. If Europe, you know what I mean, during the what they call it, when the plague was going around, there would have been no bubonic plague during that time if they had but they wouldn't have had no plague at that time if they had the wisdom and understanding that came with Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans who keep our law. You know what I mean? But so when these other nations see your law, statutes, and commandments, they gonna think of you as a wise and understanding people. When you go out into those streets and you carry yourself a certain way, when you got a certain character, these other nations around you, they're gonna look at you as a wise and understanding people. And that's the whole point of this. That's the whole point of all the feast days that you see in Leviticus 23. That's the point of Purim and you know what I mean, Hanukkah. That's the whole point of, you know what I mean, keeping the Passover. That's the whole point of coming to class. You know what I mean? During scripture breakdown class, asking your questions, coming to brotherhood class, law class. That's the whole point of, you know what I mean, taking Matthew 18:15 brothers and sisters, taking brothers to counsel, you know what I mean, following instructions. You know what I mean? That's the whole point of all of that. So that these other nations can see you and they could see that you 1 in a million. They could see that you 1 in 1,000. You know what I mean? And these brothers and these sisters is different. They gonna see it on you. And that's the whole point. The only way that they're gonna see it is if you keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. And that was Esther, because she was raised under a righteous man, a Benjamite, who raised her and taught her the laws, statutes, and commandments from the Most High. All right, let's go back to that Esther.
Colonel Wakan, sir. This is the book of Esther, chapter 2 and verse 10. Esther had not showed her people nor her kindred, for Mordecai had charged her that she should not show it. Verse 11. And Mordecai walked every day before the court of the women's house to know how Esther did and what should become of her. Verse 12.
Let's go to 15.
Verse 15. Slack. Now, when the turn of Esther, the daughter of Abihail, the uncle of Mordecai, who had taken her for his daughter, was come to go into the king, she required nothing but what Haggai, the king's chamberlain.
17. Select.
Verse 17. Select. And the king loved Esther above all the women, and she obtained grace and favor in his sight more than all the virgins, so that he set the royal crown upon her head and made her queen instead of Vashti.
So Vashti was removed because she had terrible character. You know what I mean? And Esther was put in her place, or in her place instead, because she had great character. Go ahead and let's go to 21 real quick.
Colonel Concert. This is the book of Esther, chapter 20 and verse 21. Chapter 2 and verse 21. In those days, while Mordecai sat in the king's gate, two of the king's chamberlains, Bigthan and Teresh, of those which kept the door, were wroth, and sought to lay hand on King Ahasuerus.
So this is important right here too. Remember, I told you Mordecai had pull. You know what I mean? Because he had his ear to the streets. You know what I mean? He was informed on a lot of things, and he saw a lot of things. He heard a lot of things, and he heard that somebody was, you know what I mean, trying to move on King Ahasuerus. So go ahead, verse 22.
Verse 22. And the thing was known to Mordecai, who told it to Esther the queen. And Esther certified the king thereof in Mordecai's name.
And what?
And certified the king thereof in Mordecai's name.
See, this is the type of sister that Esther was. See, she got this, she got put up on game on this, you know what I mean, this little plot that they was trying to run on King Ahasuerus. And she told the king, but in Mordecai's name. You know what I mean? This sister was in order. You know what I mean? And she did everything that, you know what I mean, Mordecai told her to do. She did it. She was a Connor one Connor. You know what I mean? She followed instructions, man. And that's how, you know what I mean, she was able to be put in this position to be able to save her people. Go ahead.
Connor Wakan, verse 23. And when the inquisition, when inquisition was made of the matter, it was found out. Therefore, they were both hanged on a tree, and it was written in the book of the Chronicles before the king.
All right, so that's going to be important later. Go ahead.
This is the book of Esther, chapter 3 and verse 1. After these things, did King Ahasuerus promote Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, and advanced him and set his seat above all the princes that were with him.
So now we, Haman into the play where he, you know what I mean, he was promoted to, like, this is now what's his name? Ahasuerus' right-hand man. You know what I mean? He was set above all the princes in the province. Go ahead. And this is how nasty, and this is the spirit of your oppressor. This is the spirit of the white man, where he just want, you know what I mean, your oppressor's character and is so fragile that he need, like, he can't just, you know what I mean, like how you see the police today or how you see Donald Trump. He a perfect example. He can't just be the president. He can't just have rulership. It ain't good enough that, blacks and Hispanics is in the fields working, working minimum wage. It ain't enough that, we get mass incarcerated. You know what I mean? You got your Hispanic brothers working in the fields making, $1 a day. You know what I mean? that ain't enough. He has to send ICE into your home and drag you out in the street, you know what I mean, with your kids naked and zip time to each other. You know what I mean? He got a bump. What'd he say? He said, hey, when you arresting these people, don't be gentle with them. You know, make sure you hit their head on the edge of the car before you put them in there. You know, be rough with them. It's not enough for him to just for us to be, you know, slaves in this you know, in this empire. They gotta take it up a notch. You know what I mean? They gotta do the most. And that's the spirit of Haman. Go ahead.
Colonel Makansa, verse 2. And all the king's servants that were in the king's gate bowed and reverenced Haman, for the king had so commanded concerning him. But Mordecai bowed not, nor did reverence.
See, this brother right here, Mordecai, man, everybody was bowing to him. Everybody was showing this you know, Haman reverence and all of that. But Mordecai, you know what I mean, he ain't bowed to this dude. He served the Lord. And he understood the condition that he was in. You know what I mean? And that's another thing too. You kissing the behind of your oppressor is not gonna get you, you know, saved. It's not gonna get you spared. You know what I mean? Before Trump was elected again, you know what I mean? Brothers and sisters, Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans was, you know, having parties, you know what I mean? Wearing the Make America Great Again hats and supporting Donald Trump and all of that, you know. But and then as soon as he got back in office, he went right in on oppressing Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. He didn't give a damn that you voted for him. He didn't give a damn that you was wearing the Make America Great Again hat and I support ICE. I saw this disgusting dude. You know what I mean? He had a whole red, white, and blue fit that said I support ICE with the Make America Great Again hat. You know what I mean? I guarantee that brother, if you know Trump, I guarantee that brother right there that had on that whole get up with the Make America Great Again hat, if them police lights turn on behind him, he's gonna, you know, he gonna fear for his life. It don't matter how much you kiss the behind of your oppressor. Your oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of. And he gonna put his foot on your neck just for the hell of it. Because that's just what devils do. But Mordecai understood that. He understood that we was in captivity. You know, we in hell. This is not, you know what I mean? He did his job. You know what I mean? He held down his office. You know what I mean? He just saved, a second ago, he just saved Ahasuerus' life. But he did his job, but he knew that, you know what I mean? He feared the Most High. He knew that this is not his kingdom. He's in hell. Go ahead.
Colonel Wakan, sir. Verse 3. Then the king's servants which were in the king's gate said unto Mordecai, why transgressest thou the king's commandment? Verse 4. Now it came to pass when they spake daily unto him, and he hearkened not unto them, that they told Haman to see whether Mordecai's matters would stand. But he had told them that he was a Jew.
Verse 6.
Verse 6. And
verse 5, Salaki.
Verse 5. And when Haman saw that Mordecai bowed not, nor did him reverence, then was Haman full of wrath. Verse 6.
See, this Edomite, this devil was salty. You know what I mean? He saw that, you know what I mean, Mordecai, he had integrity. Even though, you know what I mean, he was the right-hand man of the most powerful dude, the Medo-Persian Empire, he didn't bow down. He didn't kiss his behind. You know what I mean? Like you see brothers and sisters kissing Donald Trump behind. You know what I mean? How we become Americans because we've been beat down and we've been destroyed so much in this wicked society, in this wicked empire. We try to assimilate to American culture. So that's why you see brothers and sisters celebrating Thanksgiving, where all throughout the year, every Black and Hispanic is all throughout the year, they Blackfoot, Cherokee, they you know, Native American, they got a little bit of Native American in them. You know what I mean? But then on the third Thursday of November, they sitting in front of that turkey and that ham hock, you know what I mean, celebrating Thanksgiving with our oppressor. It's because we think that by assimilating to our oppressor's culture, that it's gonna save us. You know what I mean? That's why we look at, you know what I mean, if a brother speak slang, he speak a certain way, we look down on that brother or sister. You know what I mean? Oh, a sister decide to wear her natural hair, we look down on that sister. You know what I mean? But we look, you know, we look up to, or we honor the brothers and sisters that assimilate. You know what I mean? Wanna wear the wigs and the brothers that talk real proper and try to, you know, you join some sororities or fraternities and all of that. We look at those people, you know what I mean, as if they top tier, like they're better. You know what I mean? But that's not, you know what I mean, that's not the case. And your oppressor don't give a damn about none of that. It don't matter whether you assimilate or not. You still a nigga in their eyes. Go ahead.
Colonel Khan, sir. Verse 6. And he thought scorn to lay hands on Mordecai alone, for they had showed him the people of Mordecai. Wherefore Haman sought to destroy all the Jews that were throughout the whole kingdom of Ahasuerus, even the people of Mordecai.
And this the spirit of your oppressor. You know what I mean? He know damn well. You know what I mean? He thought to just lay hands on Mordecai, but your oppressor, you know what I mean? It ain't enough for him to just oppress you. It's not enough for him to just take your life. You know what I mean? They gotta destroy everything. You look at the history of all the 700 cities that was destroyed and burned to the ground and flooded and buried in America. All it took was the lie of one white woman or the lie of one white man. And they said this, they lied and said a black man, you know what I mean, mistreated somebody or said something, you know, how they did Emmett Till. You know what I mean? They once they hear that one lie, they send mobs into our towns. Most of them was backed by the military and the police. They was police escorted mobs into our towns, burning them to the ground, lynching our brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? Destroying our families. So it's not enough for them. It's not enough for them to just take the one life of the one person that they, you know what I mean, lied and said did something. They got to take out and wipe out your whole family. That's how your oppressor thinks. So, like, you go ahead.
Colonel Khan, sir. Verse 7. In the first month, that is the month Nisan, in the 12th year of King Ahasuerus, they cast pur, that is the lot, before Haman from day to day, and from month to the 12th month, that is the month Adar.
And this is exactly what you're seeing right now. Like the same thing that's happening with the native or the Hispanics, even the Native Americans. You know what I mean? You look at the Trail of Tears and how they was pushed and pushed and pushed further west. You know, they made treaty after treaty after treaty after treaty with the Native Americans and then broke them. And they made another treaty and then broke that treaty until, you know, now you look at Native American reservations and, you know, they sisters is just coming up missing. Don't nobody even know where the reservations is at. You know what I mean? A lot of times. You know what I mean? They living in terrible conditions in these shanty towns because of the cruelty and the lust, the bloodlust that your oppressor has on taking the lives of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know what I mean? Same thing you seeing with ICE. You know what I mean? It's not enough. Again, it's not enough that we own plantations. It's not enough that we mass incarcerated. What they gotta send, you know, they gotta send ICE into your neighborhood. So much they doing so much destruction of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that the destruction is starting to trickle over into, you know, into to white people. You know what I mean? Where they taking what was her name? Can't remember her name. The two devils that got killed by ICE. You know what I mean? They got so much of a bloodlust and so much of a hatred for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that they'll take their own people's lives to take your life. You know what I mean? They will hurt themselves to see you hurt. And that's what you're seeing right here. Or they, you know what I mean? We're going to find out what he about to do. Go ahead.
Colonel Khan, sir. Verse 9. Verse 8. And Haman said unto King Ahasuerus, there is a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed among all the people in the provinces of thy kingdom. and their laws are diverse from all people. Neither keep they the king's laws. Therefore, it is not for the king's profit to suffer them.
See? And again, your oppressor know exactly who you are. See, one of the lies that your oppressor will teach you or teach you in schools and you know what I mean, all throughout the world, the lie that they teach you is that they just what they say about the transatlantic slave trade, that that black people sold black people and that they just went over there and just grabbed random people. But that they didn't just grab random people. Hey, did you want the okay, no sweat. But they didn't just grab random people. They knew exactly who they was grabbing off the western coast of Africa. They knew exactly who they got in captivity, and they know exactly who they pillaging with ICE. They know exactly who they mass deporting. That's why they target blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We think it's about color, but they targeting blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, whether you light skin, dark skin, brown skin, or whatever. But guess who they not attacking? They not attacking Africans. They're not mass incarcerating. You know what I mean? They talking about it's about immigration, and if you just come over here legally, then you know what I mean. They'll then you don't have to worry about ICE. But the biggest group of illegal immigrants is not blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. It's Chinese. It's Africans. You know what I mean? It's all these other nations that they pay to go into your neighborhoods and start businesses. You can't have a loan to start a business in your neighborhood. You can't go to the bank and get a loan. You can't get funding to start businesses in your own neighborhoods. But your oppressor will pay another nation to start a business in your neighborhood. That's why every black, Hispanic, and Native American neighborhood has a Chinese restaurant, a Korean hair shop, a nail shop, Arab gas station in the corner store. You know what I mean? All these different businesses that you see in your neighborhoods that aren't black owned, that's why those are there, because they're being paid to be put there. So it's not about immigration and it's not about skin color. They know exactly who they got in captivity. That's why they target you, black man, Hispanic man, Native American man. That's how special you are. But the problem is, the only way for us to have the Lord's protection against these devils that hate you is to follow these laws, statutes, and commandments, is to keep our feast days. You know what I mean? And every brother and sister that's here doing that, you know what I mean? We building a family that deserves the Lord's protection. Commander General Yohana is building a family that deserves the Lord's protection, man. And that's what we teach up in here. Go ahead.
If I could, sir. The brother in the chat said, so much so, the small hat people are telling other white people if they don't like how Jewish community is doing. So like if they don't like how the Jewish community doing it, they can just leave America. It said, so much so the small hat people are telling other white people if they don't like how the Jewish community is doing it, that they can just leave America.
Damn. That's crazy. That's heavy. See, it's oh my God. It's so diabolical. Like white, this right here, what this brother just said, give a bond a hand, man. What this brother just said lets you know that the white man is the devil. And he's so much of a devil that the devil knows that the white man is the devil. White people know that white people suck. Can I say that? I can't say that, can I? Okay, most time Christ. White people know that white people suck. They don't even, on the flip side, if a regular white man don't don't even want to claim the Jewish people. They not white. You know what I mean? They try to say that we got a common enemy. But you know, Captain Tazar had to break it to him. Like, nah, that's your people. That's you. That's y'all. Y'all, you know, the so-called small hats, them your people. And all all everybody in them Epstein files, them your people too. That's what y'all do. That's y'all culture. But we got these laws, statutes, and commandments that we keep that make us wise and understanding people in the side of the other nations. Your oppressor ain't got that. That's why they, eating babies and drinking blood and doing all the things that you heard, that you thought was just a conspiracy theory. You know what I mean? It's true. That's what they doing. You know what I mean? Trafficking children and sleeping with whatever. If it ain't, if it ain't they sleep with whatever they faster than. If they could catch up to you, they either they eating it and sleeping with it and whatever they can catch. You know what I mean? That's how disgusting your oppressor is. You know what I mean? It's like it. Go ahead. And they've been this way. They've been the same since the beginning. They've been the same people since, since the inception of white people. They've been the same in the book of Esther. They was the same in the book of Genesis. They're the same in the book of whatever book in the Bible, from Genesis to Revelations, the Apocrypha, and in modern history. They're the same exact people doing the same exact things. They're not new. Nothing new under the sun. It's like it. Go ahead.
Verse 9. If it please the king, let it be written that they may be destroyed. And I will pay 10,000 talents of silver to the hands of those that have charge of the business to bring it into the king's treasuries.
Hey, you know what that sounds like?
Nice.
That sounds like ICE. That sounds like posse comitatus. That's what that sounds like. Where they commissioned, the destruction of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans at whatever cost. You know what I mean? Your oppressor, when it comes to you and destroying you, they spare no expense in taking the life and ripping away the families and the culture of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That's how important you are. And like the scriptures say, the hand and the heel, the hand and the world is in between the hand and the heel, meaning the condition of the world is dependent on the victory of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans over our oppressor. Every other way of life, every other culture is waiting to see how the struggle between us, the children of Israel, and our oppressor. That's what they waiting on. That's what the whole world is dependent on. You know what I mean? That's how important and your oppressor knows that. That's why they know exactly who they got in captivity. That's why they do so much to, violate and destroy and make sure you don't have a strong family. Go ahead.
Colonel Concert, verse 10. And the king took his ring from his hand and gave it to Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, the Jews' enemies. If I could, sir. Now it's heavy reading this because Haman, it's calling Haman a Agagite or Agag. You know what I'm saying? So Haman wouldn't even be there if Saul would have, followed the order in the first place. So like,
no, that's a heavy point. Give him a hand. That's so heavy. That's how important it is to follow instructions. Like, we in a whole captivity, and this devil is trying to get rid of an entire nation of people, the Lord's chosen people, that shouldn't even exist. Had Saul, did what he had to do and gotten rid of Agag, his whole bloodline wouldn't even be here to be able to further oppress blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know what I mean? That's how, and you could translate over that today. You know what I mean? The Most High told us not to sleep with these people, not to deal with these people, not to follow after their culture. You know what I mean? Not to do certain things. And it's so important because, again, that's the difference, like the brother just brought out. That's the difference between us being in captivity and us being free and ruling over the earth like we supposed to. Please. I get you the mic.
Hey, Salaki, what y'all bringing out so heavy, like, it also shows that how much each of our lives is in each other's hands. Like, even the whole story as to, how much the nation depended on her being on point and how much we all depend on each other being on point and following the orders of the Lord, because any of our lives can be in jeopardy from just anybody sinning.
God. Now that's heavy too. Give him a hand. That's what we was talking about earlier at the beginning of the class. You know what I mean? The things that you do is going to weigh and reflect on your family. And we seen it in so many different examples. We saw it with Vashti and how she dealt with Ahasuerus. We seen it with Esther. We seen it with you know what I mean, Saul. Even Saul, you know what I mean, Saul got brought into this. You know what I mean? The thing that he did affected his family. That's how important it is for us to be top notch and clean with everything we do. We gotta we gotta be perfect. And that's why it's such an evil thing for the Christian church to try to do away with perfection, to try to make it a religion that you cannot be perfect. Like they make it a sport to see how imperfect you can be. Like it's like a good night. Like every single person in those Epstein files that you read about that did something diabolical was a Christian. Every single one, every single child abuser that you see running those Christian churches and those Catholic churches, guess what religion they are? They're Christians. Every single one. And they make it a sport to see how disgusting they are, man. But the Bible says, be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father in heaven is perfect. And I believe the man that said it is the man that they try to say did away with the law. That's Christ. He was a perfect man, and he urged every Black, Hispanic, and Native American to be perfect. But your Christian church, they makes it a sport to be disgusting. You know what I mean? But your reputation is everything, brothers and sisters. What you do outside of these four walls is so important. Even what others can't see is so important to the condition of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, because what you do as an individual determines the condition of your entire family. Go ahead.
Colonel Khan, sir. Verse 11. And the king said unto Haman, the silver is given to thee, and people also to do with them as it seemeth good to thee.
It's like it. Go to verse chapter 4 and verse 1.
Colonel
So the decree was given. You know what I mean? You know, Haman about to make a move on the nation of Israel. And Ahasuerus, you know, he just like, hey, whatever you say, you know. But he don't even know that the people that he's trying to destroy is this woman that he done found, you know what I mean? He done found favor in. You know what I mean? Esther. But go ahead.
Colonel Khan, sir. This is the book of Esther, chapter 4 and verse 1. When Mordecai perceived all that was done, Mordecai rent his clothes and put on sackcloth with ashes, and went out in the midst of the city and cried with a loud and bitter cry. Verse 2. And it came before the king's gate that none might enter into the king's gate clothed with sackcloth. Verse 3. And in every province, whithersoever the king's commandment and his decree came, there was great mourning among the Jews and fasting, and weeping and wailing, and many lay in sackcloth and ashes.
See, this is what you see right now. This is how a family deals with, you know, this is how a family reacts when something happens to a particular people in their family. Like what you seeing with ICE, we should absolutely be grieving. And more, you know, when they first started, you know, making their rounds, when Trump got back in office, the first thing that we started to say as black people, we was talking about, oh, we gonna sit this one out. You know what I mean? This ain't got nothing to do with us. This, that, and the third. And we found any excuse to try to act like, you know, we found any excuse to try to act like what was happening to the Hispanics was deserved. You know what I mean? That's what a coward does. You know what I mean? A black Hispanic, we not no cowards. When a black man sees the condition of his people, when you see what's going on with ICE, even though they put mainly targeting Hispanics, you know what I mean? When it happens to Hispanics, it happened to us, because Hispanics are black people. You know what I mean? What's happening on them reservations to Native Americans, you know what I mean? If it happens to them, it happens to us, because Native Americans are black. You know what I mean? That's why we refuse to celebrate Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? But we will keep the Feast of Purim. We will keep Hanukkah. We will keep the Passover. You know what I mean? Because what happens to a Hispanic or Native American happens to me. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Colonel Khan, sir. Verse 4. So Esther's maids and her chamberlains came and told it her, Then was the queen exceedingly grieved, and she sent raiment and cloth to Mordecai, and to take away his sackcloth from him, but he received it not. Then called Esther for Hatak, one of the king's chamberlains, whom he had appointed to attend upon her, and gave him a commandment to Mordecai to know that it was and why it was.
So, and this how righteous this sister is. Now she the queen, like she's she's sitting in the seat, and she's still honoring the authority that her uncle has over her, that her family member has over her. You know what I mean? The brothers, and that's what's so important about how our family works. Like, regardless of what, what I mean, like we was talking about earlier, a lot of times we based our relationships and the value of our relationships on money. So a man ain't nothing if he ain't making 6 figures. And if a woman, Lord forbid, if a woman, makes more than the man, now she the head of the house. You know what I mean? Now she's, you can't tell her nothing if she got that bag. You know what I mean? But even though this sister is the queen over this province and she's so close to the king, this sister still had the integrity to check in and communicate with her uncle, you know what I mean, to get counsel, to get instruction, and you know what I mean, and she still respected him as her head. Go ahead, drop down to verse 11, 12, Salaki.
On what concert? Verse 12. And they told Mordecai Esther's words. Verse 13. Then Mordecai commanded to answer Esther, think not with thyself that thou should escape in the king's house.
Read that again.
Think not with thyself that thou shalt escape in the king's house.
And this is the problem. We think because, and remember what we was talking about earlier, this spirit, this cowardice spirit, this spirit of fear, you know what I mean? The scriptures say the Most High didn't give us a spirit of fear. You know what I mean? But this spirit that this rebellious spirit, this cowardice spirit, where we'll try to justify any excuse to try to make it seem like Hispanics deserve the treatment that they getting from ICE, that didn't come from us. That came from your oppressor. That came from buckbreaking. That came from the Willie Lynch letters. That came from them tearing our families apart. That came from them, hanging us from trees, whipping our backs and setting us on fire and having barbecues and putting us on postcards we burnt to a crisp. You know what I mean? That's where that comes from. That's where that spirit comes from. They had to beat that spirit into you, man. But this is what you got to remember. Read verse 13 again.
Sir. Then Mordecai commanded to answer Esther, think not with thyself.
Think what?
Think not with thyself.
Think what?
Think not with thyself.
See, don't be selfish. See, right now, when you see that your nation of people is in a destitute situation, when you see that your people are in a destitute situation, and you see that they're being oppressed, you know what I mean? When you see that your oppressor got their boot on your neck, you know what I mean? Think not with yourself, man. This is not the time to be selfish. This is the time for us to stand up and be join with one another more than ever. This is when we got to be the most selfless. Salaki, go ahead.
Sir. Think not with thyself that thou shalt escape in the king's house.
See, you not just because you didn't, you know what I mean? You went to this Ivy League college and you got you a degree and you making 6 figures. You know what I mean? That's what all these celebrities that you just saw recently, fall. You see Diddy, you know what I mean, getting arrested. You see all these black and Hispanic brothers and sisters that's celebrities and got money. You know what I mean? This is the mistake that we make, where we think that us getting money and status in this earth is going to protect us. You know what I mean? But that's not the case. You know what I mean? Read that again.
Think not with thyself that thou shalt escape in the king's house.
See, you are not going to escape because your oppressor is a devil. He's a devil and he hates you. Go ahead.
More than all the Jews.
See, you are still You know what I mean? Regardless of you rich, poor, you tall, short, you whether you drive a Rolls Royce or you drive a Honda, you know what I mean? You are still a nigga. And your oppressor is gonna treat you just like that. Because they are a devil, man. And they hate you. They have to put you in this situation to keep you you know what I mean, in this position, because the only thing, either they're going to rule or you're going to rule. That's the only two options. Either blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are going to rule over this earth with righteousness and the wisdom and understanding that was given to us in his Bible, or your oppressor is going to rule over the earth and continue to burn it and continue to poison it, to poison the air and to poison the oceans and all of that. And your oppressor knows that. Slack, you go ahead.
Colonel Wakan, sir. Verse 14. For if thou altogether holdest thy peace at this time, then shall their enlargement and deliverance arise to the Jews from another place. But thou and thy father's house shall be destroyed. And who knoweth whether thou art come to the kingdom for such a time as this?
Drop to 15.
Colonel Wakan. Verse 15. Then Esther bade them return Mordecai this answer. Verse 16. Go gather together all the Jews that are present in Shushan, and fast ye for me, and neither eat nor drink 3 days, night or day.
See, this is the integrity that Esther had. See, she saw the condition of her people. She saw what was about to happen to her people, and she didn't think about her. She wasn't selfish. She didn't be like, well, I'm good. I'm straight. I'm in the king's house. I got bread. I got power. You know what I mean? Can't no man tell me what to do. That's not how she moved. Let's see what she said.
Colonel Wakan, sir. I also and my maidens fast likewise, and will go in unto the king, which is not according to the law. And if I may perish, I perish.
If I what?
And if I may, Salakia. And if I perish, I perish.
See, this sister, she was willing to die for her people. See, she said, I'm about to, my people in bad shape right now. We about to get, you know what I mean, this Haman trying to move on us. She said, look, well, all right, I'm about to have to go holler at the king, even though, because she could lose her life, you know what I mean, dealing with the king out of turn. You know what I mean? If she went to the king and she wasn't called, if the king gave the go ahead, if he raised the scepter, then it's over. You know, you're gonna throw a bag over her head and get rid of her. And she knew that was the risk. Please go ahead.
If I could, sir, it's heavy because she had just seen an example how quick she could be gone with Vashti. Like you.
Damn, man. Yeah, we just saw it. What you got?
If I could, as we know, Esther was not trying to marry this heathen, but she knew something that every sister and every brother who chooses to date interracially should know, that this devil can kill me at any minute. It doesn't matter. It just depends on the whim of him, and then he'll get away with it because this is his kingdom. That's a large reason why brothers and sisters choose to go with a white girl or some other nation, because they think that nation is better than our nation. When you should have known what Esther knew, they could kill you at any moment. That's the most unsafe place you could be, is in the bosom of the oppressor.
No, give him a hand. Hey, Yawash, what's that sister that's sitting on that wall with the with all the white women? It should be a sister over there that's sitting, and she was a sister that was unalived at a party that she went to. It was like a sleepover. Nah, not Sandra Bland, but you know what I mean? You could just look it up. But it's a sister that lost. What's her name?
Tamala Horsford.
Tamala Horsford. You know what I mean? She found out what Barakia just said. You know what I mean? You got all these white friends because you think that your safety is befriending them. You got a white husband or a white wife because you think safety is marrying them. You got, you know what I mean? You keep white company because you think that your safety is in their camaraderie and their money and their company, we find out otherwise. You know what I mean? How many sisters then, lost their life to their white husband because at a moment's notice, they gon' you might forget that you a nigga, but they not gonna forget. They don't forget. They what you wake up next to them, they wake up to a nigga in their mind. They know, and they make a separation. What you got, sister?
My ancestors taught me, us, and I taught my children.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care where you go in life. I don't care what you do. Just remember one thing. You always remember this, no matter what.
Absolutely.
That you're black.
Absolutely. And that's wisdom. Give her a hand. That's the most important thing that you can remember in any situation. You should remember that you black. You black. And your oppressor, these devils hate you. It don't matter who you marry. Go ahead, priest. It don't matter who you marry. It don't matter, how you try to date outside of your race and how social media portrays or try to prop up the idea of interracially marrying. You know what I mean? The most important thing that you can remember is who you are as a people. And namely, you are the Lord's chosen people. You are a special people to the Most High God, above all nations upon the face of the earth. When you sleep with that devil, when you sleep with that other nation, you are laying with a dog. You might as well go and get you an alley cat and put a ring on it. If that's how you moving. If that's how important it is. It's like your priest.
It's like, if I could, to your point and to Miss Trudy's point, I might have recently seen a video of this white man going at it with the police. He felt that it was wrong that they pulled him over, and he went off on them. He was enraged. He was walking up to him. I mean, let it have been us. By definition, the aggressor is by you raising your voice and presumed as a threat. And everybody in the comments was saying, let that man have been black. As soon as he opened his mouth, a bullet would have shut it up. We wouldn't have got the chance to exercise, freedom of speech. But this white man went off on his rights, and they didn't shoot him. They politely arrested him and said, calm down. But let it have been a black man. As soon as he stepped out the car or reached for your ID, the whole clip from that Glock is being unloaded in you.
I'll give him a hand.
Good, sir.
Please.
Brother in the chat said, Officer Bun said, we can't tame a beast.
Damn right. That's the important thing. You cannot tame a beast. Who can make straight what the Lord has made crooked? I mean, what you got to understand is these people are supposed to serve you. That's all they here for, is to serve the children of Israel. But if you try to affiliate with them, you try to associate yourself with them, you try to join yourself to them, the Lord gonna be like, all right, no sweat. You want to serve these people? You want to do what they do? You want to serve them? We gonna find out how well you like serving these people. And that's how they end up ruling over us. Because we wanted to follow, we didn't want to keep our feast days. We wanted to celebrate Christmas. We teach our children Easter egg hunts and, bunnies laying eggs and fat white men coming down your chimney and taking credit for all the presents that you got your kids. You know what I mean? But you can't tame a beast, man. The most important thing that you can remember is who you are as a people. You know what I mean? It's like, let's go to chapter 5.
Colonel Wakan. This is the book of Esther, chapter 5 and verse 1. Now it came to pass on the third day that Esther put on her royal apparel and stood in the inner court of the king's house, over against the king's house, and the king sat upon the royal throne in the royal house, over against the gate of the house. Verse 2. And it was so, when the king saw Esther the queen standing in the court, that she obtained favor in his sight. And the king held out to Esther the golden scepter that was in his hand.
So this moment right here is pivotal. Just in chapter 4, she just was like, look, I'm about to go do this. I'm about to go holler at the king. If I perish, I perish. Because she knew that she could just lose her life. That verse that we just read, that could have went very differently. It could have been, read that again.
Colonel Wakan, sir. When the king saw Esther the queen standing in the court that she obtained.
Stop right there. Read that part. He said when
the king saw Esther the queen standing in the court.
When the king saw Esther the queen standing in the court,
she obtained favor.
He could have took her head off right there. that could have been the end of the. That could have been what's the next chapter? Now we in the book of Job. Right. In the story, the book of Esther is over with. That could have went very differently, but she had, you know what I mean, that just shows the courage that she displayed in that moment. Because regardless of whether she could have lost her life or not, she knew that that's what she had to do for her family, and that's what we got up in here. You know what I mean? Give these sisters a hand. You know what I mean? Feel like you.
And it say like she put on that royal apparel, like she got dressed up for real, like she came out there bad.
Yeah.
like most sisters now try to do it for the gram or do it to stand in the club and get chose by, you know what I'm saying, by whoever. She got right for her nation. Like she did it all. Like if I'm gonna do it for y'all.
No, real talk. Give him a hand. Please go ahead.
Salakia, and this is just further proof that your pastor, your politician do not have the spirit of God on them. The spirit of Christ, the spirit of the Most High, is a self-sacrificing spirit. All these politicians who say we got to go along to get along, change the system from the inside a little bit at a time, they'll be on Epstein Island if they haven't been already. See, this sister was not a coon. She was put down for her people to the level where she feared her own life to speak up against the king. See, the pastors today, the politicians today, they'll shout us down. They'll shout us down for saying things like Sonia Massey was shot in cold blood by a racist police officer. George Floyd was obviously murdered. See, the black politicians, the black pastors today, IUIC even, will talk down and demonize us for trying to raise up our voice alone for our people. This is how you know who's for God and who's against God, by what they say and what they do, man. If you don't love your people enough to stand up to the authority of the nation that you're in captivity in and say, look, they trying to kill my people, what are you gonna do? Whatever pull you got here, Vashti had the pull of the king. You know, you might just be the manager at the spot. What you gonna do? You gonna speak up for I think they targeting that brother. They not real. That brother don't show up late. He don't do anything that nobody else here does. Are you willing to raise up your voice for your people? Do you see the injustice, the evil that goes on here in America, or do you shield your eyes from it because it's not you today? Salaki.
No. Come on here, please.
Like what the brother's saying heavy too, and what's also so heavy about what she did is she ain't have to say a word. It said she just stood out there and got favor.
Damn.
Like she came, like most of the women now, and you know, most of our sisters in the world, of course not out here in the UPK, but most of these sisters in the world think they gotta like out masculine, like they gotta turn up mode to get their point across.
Right.
She didn't say a word and got favor instantly.
Right. Good night. Hey, that's heavy. Like what you can get more done. And this should show you something, sisters. You can get more done by being feminine than anything else. Like you try to raise your voice and try to argue with a brother, with your father, with your husband or whatever. They just gonna argue back. You know what I mean? You just gonna buck back, and then you gonna buck, and then y'all just gonna be bucking at each other. yeah. But you know what I mean? If you feminine, if you really you know what I mean, you present yourself in a honorable and with integrity, you present yourself in that way, you ain't even gotta say a word. The brother just gonna be compelled to he's just gonna look, you get more done with just being feminine. You know what I mean? That's what we're seeing right now. And he could have just took her head off. You know what I mean? Because that's how this devil do. But you know, she was able to get favor just by being her, how she was raised, how the Most High taught her how to be. You know what I mean? Slacky, go ahead.
Colonel sir.
Oh yeah, and Salakia, Barakia made an excellent point earlier too. Like, you're not going you know what I mean, you're not gonna be effective trying to join your oppressor either. You can't kiss the behind of your oppressor to get no get nothing done. You know what I mean? And the thing is, you think that you could just turn a blind eye and act like you don't see it and be like, oh, I'm good, whatever. Hey, look, that's y'all problem. What they said about the Hispanics, that's y'all fight. We're going to sit this one out. What you're going to end up doing is you're going to be on Epstein Island doing Epstein Island type stuff. You're not finna just be in the middle on the fence. You know what I mean? You're not finna just turn a blind eye and then be on the fence with it. If you're not with your people, if you're not serving the Most High God and following His law, statutes, and commandments, you're going to be blowing rod in the back alley somewhere. Right. You're gonna be doing what your oppressor does and what they teach you to do. Right. If you don't follow these feast days, you're gonna celebrate the death of your own people on Christmas or Thanksgiving. You're gonna be celebrating, Christmas, which comes from Nimrod, who was a disgusting sexual deviant who slept with his mother and, was a mass unaliver. You're going to, if you're not on the right side, you're going to go way left. That's just how it works. And you see it with every single case. There's nobody on this, there's no Black, Hispanic, or Native American on this earth that just, didn't serve the Lord and then also didn't end up serving their oppressors and their gods. You see it with every celebrity. You see it with every politician. You see it with every Christian pastor and Catholic priest and Muslim. You see it with every drug dealer. You don't serve the Lord, you're going to go all the way left and be like your oppressor. Go ahead, priest.
So, like, if I could, to your point, like you saying, that's why you got P. Diddy and the things R. Kelly is doing and Jay-Z and all these other, like you said, top, politicians, artists, and everything. If you don't follow the Lord, you're gonna be putting in a special order for baby oil. You're gonna be ordering 1,000 bottles that's in your house for no reason, like you sponsored by Johnson Johnson, and you don't know all types of manner that you are doing with these things. And like you said, even with the Epstein Island, I just recently found out that the Island boys come from the Epstein Islands. And there's been documented things that they have done that are filthy. Like you said, you're going to be somewhere in the back alley blowing rod if you don't appease to what the oppressor is doing because that's his lifestyle. Salakia.
My hand. Let's go to chapter 6 real quick. Salakia. You start at verse 1.
Going to Wakanda is the book of Esther, chapter 6 and verse 1. On that night could not the king sleep, and he commanded to bring the book of records of the chronicles, and there they were read before the king.
So remember when Mordecai had saved the king's life in the first chapter, where it was two devils trying to make a move on Ahasuerus. He sent the warning up and saved the Ahasuerus' life essentially. Now we about to bring those records back up. Go ahead.
Verse 2. And it was found written that Mordecai had told Bigthana and Teresh, two of the king's chamberlains, the keepers of the door, who sought to lay hand on the king Ahasuerus.
Go ahead.
Verse 3. And the king said, what honor and dignity hath been done to Mordecai for this? Then said the king's servants that ministered unto him, there is nothing done for him.
So while all of this is happening, just to bring everybody up to speed, so Esther is like, he's trying to, appeal to the king. He's trying to, so that she can get, so that she can make it known that Haman is trying to, destroy her family. He's trying to take the life of every Jew that's within the province. You know what I mean? And while all of this is happening, Ahasuerus came to remembrance that Mordecai did him such a, he did him such a huge favor that saved his life. So he's like, we got to honor this cat. You know what I mean? We got to honor him properly for, saving my life. Now let's see, watch how this play out. Let's go to verse 6.
I'm gonna come verse 6.
Now Haman Haman is a selfish. He's a selfish. He like Donald Trump. Like when I read about Haman, all I think about is like I'm seeing Trump, because this is exactly what this is the spirit of your oppressor. This is the spirit of these world leaders. Donald Trump. He thinks so highly of himself. He think he the greatest. He think he the best at everything. Donald Trump sucks. I know y'all. I ain't gotta tell y'all that, but Donald Trump is. Oh my God, like Jesus Christ. But that's what Haman is on. He just think he, he think he, all that in the bag of chips. Well, let's see how this play out.
Wakan, verse 6. So Haman came in, and the king said unto him, what shall be done unto the man whom the king delighted to honor?
So Ahasuerus, he say, I want to honor somebody. What should we do for this man that I want to honor? Go ahead.
Now Haman thought in his heart, to whom would the king delight to do honor more than to myself?
Don't that sound like Trump?
Right.
You say, man, who deserves more honor than me? I'm the greatest. I'm the best president. That's him. We reading about him. This is the spirit of your oppressor. Go ahead.
Verse 7. And Haman answered the king, for the man whom the king delighted to honor.
So he about to do it up like, oh, you should give him. You know what I mean? You think he say the king trying to honor somebody, and Haman think it's him. So he like, man, you should give whoever this man is, you should give him everything. You should go see. Let's see what he say.
Verse 8. Let the royal apparel be brought, which the king uses to wear.
So he want the king's clothes. Go ahead.
And the horse that the king rideth upon.
He want the king's horse.
Go and ahead. The crown royal which is set upon his head.
Haman, he's a slimy bastard, and he think that he deserve all of this. He deserve all this honor and praise. Go ahead.
And let his apparel and horse be delivered to the hand of one of the king's most noble princes, that there they may array the man withal whom the king delighted to honor, and bring him on the horseback through the street of the city, and proclaim before him, thus shall it be done to the man whom the king delighted to honor.
This sound like Donald Trump when wasn't he just rolling through the streets on a tank? You know what I mean? Like this is your oppressor. He like give him everything, parade him through the streets, and so everybody could see all this greatness, and with the crown on his head, with the king's horse and the king's apparel. He thinking it's him. So he like, man, you got to do it up for this cat. You got whoever you talking about the honor. Go ahead. Let's see what he say though.
Verse 10.
He's a Haman about to be salty. Watch this.
Then the king said to Haman, make haste and take the apparel and the horse, as thou hast said.
He said, make haste. He said, hurry up. He said, all right, bet. Hurry up and do this. Go ahead.
And do even so to Mordecai.
Unto who?
Unto Mordecai.
Unto who?
Unto Mordecai.
Now, Mordecai is the reason that Haman is even trying to take the life of the Jews. Because Mordecai refused to bow to Haman. He looked at, Haman thought he was all of that. He thought he was, that top dude. Mordecai ain't think nothing of him. He was just like, you were nothing to me. And he refused to bow to him. So Haman want to take the life of him and his entire family. He plotting on him whole time. The king ordered him to go and everything you just said, bring him the king's horse, give him the king's crown and the king's apparel, and parade him through the streets. And guess what? You're going to do it. His worst enemy. He's going to take his worst enemy that he hates the most, and he's going to carry him through the streets and honor him. I know Haman's sick right here. He's sick. Go ahead. But and this the thing though. All of this happened not because, brothers that took up arms and, want to go in like the not effing around coalition, the Black Panthers, the who else? The Black Panther Party and the what's it called? The Muslims and this didn't happen because we took up arms. And this didn't happen because Esther went up in there and start, running her mouth and start cussing out the king and cussing out Haman. It didn't happen because of that. It's because they were in order. And when you in order, the Lord is going to take care of everything. The Lord going to get us right. And that's the whole point. You know what I mean? That's the whole point of all of this. If we in order, then the Lord is gonna be with us, and that's how we gonna get up out of this condition right now. That's how we gonna get up out of hell, by staying in order and being a family again. Go ahead.
Colonel Wakan, sir. As thou hast said, and do even so to Mordecai the Jew that sitteth at the king's gate. Let nothing fail of all that thou hast spoken.
He said, let nothing fail. Do all of it. Do all of that to your enemy. Go ahead.
Then took Haman the apparel and the horse and arrayed Mordecai, and brought him on the horseback through the street of the city, and proclaimed before him, thus shall it be done unto the man whom the king delighted to honor.
All right, let's go down to verse chapter 7 and verse 1.
This is the book of Esther, chapter 7 and verse 1. So the king and Haman came to the banquet, and with Esther the queen.
So this is what Esther doing. She's using her femininity to try to get the favor of the king so that she can get the results that she wants. Go ahead.
And the king said again unto Esther on the second day at the banquet of wine, What is thy petition, Queen Esther?
Ooh, okay, so now the king is willing to hear it. Now, this whole time, I don't even think she said a word yet. She just come over to this banquet. I want to cook for you. I want to make you something, you know what I mean? I want to get you some food or some drink, you know what I mean? And just host you. That's all. And she just did, I think she did it for about 3 days. And go ahead. And the king, because she's moving in this way, she's like, what you need? What, anything? Tell me what you need. Go ahead. And this is right after Haman just had to go, and he just had to prop up his enemy on the horse. You know what I mean? And the king's everything that he wanted, he had to give to his enemy and parade him around. So Haman's sitting here and he's sick. He's salty. Go ahead.
And it shall be granted thee. What is thy request? And it shall be performed even to the half of the kingdom.
Please, Mike, y'all grabbing the mic.
The king hit her with the you can have whatever you like.
Like,
right. You ain't said nothing for 3 days. Like, let me go ahead and just bless. What do you want? Like,
real talk.
Like, even before she even said nothing, he said you can have whatever. Like, rather than the spirit of like, nah, our sisters is entitled to everything, coming with the worst.
Right.
Like, that's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously Kevin Samuels was a sodomite that, you know what I'm saying, was in the world, but he exposed the spirit that was on a lot of sisters. And it was that spirit of delusion that they deserved the world without having to do anything.
Right.
And this is the exact opposite spirit of that.
Now, real talk, give him a hand. And that right there, that's what makes y'all sisters so special. Like, this story right here just shows how special the sisters that sit in these seats are. Because social media teaches you that you don't have to do anything. You can come to you could just be the worst type of person, and this man's supposed to pay all your bills. He better make 7 figures. He's supposed to give me this Birkin bag. He better not take me to no Cheesecake Factory. That's what the internet teaches you. That's what all these TV shows and these podcasts teaches our women to behave. And despite Christianity being all over us, all around us, despite it being in your face all day, on you open up your phone right now, it's gonna be Christianity. It's gonna be somebody telling you to be, you know what I mean, to not be here, to not be in this spirit. And despite all of that, y'all are right here. And y'all are raising up strong families. Y'all are raising, you know what I mean? Y'all represent the school beautifully. You know what I mean? Get y'all a hand. You know what I mean? And this stories like this, that's the proof of how, you know what I mean, the Lord moved, man. Salakia. Go ahead, read on.
Colonel Wakan, sir. Verse 3. Then Esther the queen answered and said, if I have found favor in thy sight, O king, and if it please the king, let my life be given me at my petition, and my people at my request.
She just wanted her life. She went in there. She could have, just like the brother said, she could have had anything, even to the half of the kingdom. Now we just talked about in the beginning of the chapter, this man then conquered this large province and he got bread. He caked up. You know what I mean? She could have been selfish and been like, "Oh, word, half the kingdom? Bet. Let me get that." And she could have left it right there. But she was like, "Nah, I want to petition for my people." She remembered her people at that moment. Go ahead.
Verse 4. For we are sold, I and my people, to be destroyed, to be slain and to perish.
Ooh, now I know Haman sitting there, you know, I know his stomach, then his heart that hit his stomach. He already sick about what he had to do for Mordecai. And now Esther is spilling the beans on how evil and slimy and how he trying to backdoor, her people. Go ahead.
But if we had been sold for bondmen and bondwomen, I had held my tongue, although the enemy could not countervail the king's damage.
Go ahead.
Verse 5. Then King Ahasuerus answered and said unto Esther the queen, Who is he? And where is he that durst presume in this heart to do so?
Oh my God. I can't imagine how Haman felt in this moment, man. He like, who trying to sell your people? Who trying to destroy your people? Not my baby. Yeah, where he at? Where he at? Haman right here. Haman right here. Just sweating bullets and shitting bricks. Go ahead.
And Esther said, the adversary and the enemy this is this wicked Haman.
She said, him. He right there. And go ahead.
Then Haman was afraid before the king and the queen.
Ooh-wee. Yeah, you out of there. You know what I mean? Let me see. Let's skip down to the bag part. Where they throw the bag over his head.
Let's see.
I wanna get that before we get up out of here. The lock you.
Bag over your head, you know it's over.
It can't.
They start do that to this day.
Real talk.
Bag over your head, it's done.
Ooh, we go to verse 7. Chapter 8, verse 7. 8 and 7. Okay.
This is the book of Esther, chapter 8 and verse 7. Then the king Ahasuerus said unto Esther the queen and to Mordecai the Jew, Behold, I have given Esther the house of Haman, and him they have hanged upon the gallows because he laid his hand upon the Jews.
Because he did what?
Because he laid his hand upon the Jews.
Now, this is the cold part about it. First of all, because he wanted to lay his hands on the Jews, on the Lord's chosen people, he got hanged on the gallows that he built for Mordecai and the Jews. He built up these gallows to take out Esther's family, and he ended up getting hanged on those. I think the bag part right before this. Please go ahead.
Oh, Salakia. I just want to show Emma Salakia. Oh, this what the gallows look like. This what he built for the Jews.
Man, that look real familiar. That looked like the good night. Yeah, that
January 6th, right?
Real talk. Salakia, you was about to say something?
If I could too, like it's also so heavy too, like how the Lord will do. Like the Lord flipped everything on them when all the odds was against the Jews, because they came together as a people,
right,
and was in the right spirit. Like, and that just shows us, like, this is a beautiful story, especially right now with everything going on in the world. Like how ICE, like how you brought up, like how the ICE is kidnapping brothers and sisters, and how everything is against us right now. But like Esther said, like she wrote to Mordecai, like just fast and pray with me. Just be in the spirit for each other, because I'm gonna do it for all of us too. And when we all come together in that spirit, the Lord could do anything.
Right.
Like the Lord, like all these missiles and everything that's going on, they putting up them the same gallows that is gonna hang these other nations.
Right.
Like these other nations that's plotting against, like that's been living deliciously off of us, they're gonna go down by the weapons that they created for us. Salak.
God, now give him a hand. In the previous chapter, okay, no sweat. But we get the point, you know what I mean? You Mordecai, you got, or not Mordecai, Haman, you know what I mean? He got snatched up. They did him real cartel style. They just threw the bag over his head, took him out to the took him out back, and got rid of him. He got a job upstate. You know, he yeah. Real talk. You know what I mean? But like the brother said, like, I mean, I couldn't really say it no better than that. Like, the way that we're gonna get out of this hell is by coming together as a family. And the Most High poetic. Like, the Most High poetic with it. Like, he gon', like he said, like the same you know what I mean, the same weapons that they use to oppress us, the same military that they use to oppress us, the same nukes that they use to, you know, fear monger us, you know what I mean? They're gonna lose their life by them same weapons. You know what I mean? And we're not gonna do it by standing up and, you know, carrying rifles through the street and trying to, wage physical warfare with our oppressor. The way we're gonna get out of this hell is doing exactly what Mordecai and Esther did. Where the sisters, you know what I mean, the sister followed instructions and was loyal to her people, and Mordecai, you know what I mean, was wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. And neither one of them deviated from their culture and their laws, statutes, and commandments. You know what I mean, that's how we gonna get it. Well, with that, Salaki, I know y'all probably hungry. So like, we went a little bit over the time. We're gonna go ahead and close out. We're gonna go ahead and say Imajim, which means to stand. We'll give a courtesy salute to the brothers. The Visual Major Shabbat, Imajim, Barak, Yahweh, Yagimata, Sar, return face to sisters, Imajim, she needs to stand. We'll give a courtesy salute to the sisters. The Visual Major Shabbat, Imajim, Barak, Yahweh, Yagimata, dismiss.
Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The ISUPK, under Commanding General Yahana, presents the Lord's 57th Annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 57th Annual Passover, April 4th, 2026, in Houston, Texas. All Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are commanded to observe the Lord's Passover. This will be the biggest Passover to date. You do not want to miss this. Fresh lamb, fresh wine, and bitter herbs as commanded by the Most High. Only $200 per person ages 17 and up. The biggest event of the year. There is only one Passover, and it's under Commanding General Yahana. See you there, Israel. Shalom. Nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and warlike apparel. Prefer our leaders, can't get between us. Watch where you stepping.